Hello, in this video I'm going to go over normals. So normals can be a little confusing to understand at first, but they're very powerful and it's really important to know in the 3D animation world. So I'm going to bring up this. So this is Autodesk's kind of help documentation, and I'll zoom up on this and you'll see what how they describe it. A normal is a theoretical line perpendicular to the surface of the polygon. In Maya, normals are used to determine the orientation of a polygon face normals, or the edges of the faces will visually appear in relation to each other when shaded, vertex normals. So vertex normals are used a lot so you can have as optimized as a scene as possible, so they don't have to render or display the inside. Like there's no shading on the inside of my skull now, it's all black, but everything out here, that's because the normals are coming out in one direction, not in both directions. So if I go over to display and go to polygons, and I'll just tear that off, I can actually see my normals by going to face normals and go to normal size. So I'm going to bring this up, and that just changes the visual representation of how these faces are displayed, or these little lines. And you can see they're coming out perpendicular. Okay, and I'm going to turn off face normals and I'm going to go to vertex normals, and you'll see something very similar, but I have a bunch of these normals coming out from one point and one vertex, and then I'll just turn those off so you kind of get an idea what they're looking like. So turn those off. So to edit these, so if I turn that off, you might notice that there's a very harsh, hard normal transitions. Like it's not softening between each face. That's because I need to change this. So if I go up to mesh display, these are all our tools for normals, and we can do different things like harden, soften, and soften, harden, edge. So if I click on this one, I'll show you what this does. This will find anything that's more than 30 degrees or at 30 degrees and sharpen it, and everything else it will soften. So I can hit apply, and you'll notice there's certain ones here that are a lot sharper than the others. So something like this. That's not exactly what I want, but you can these will do all the edges, so I can do a harden edge and that will harden everything, and then I can even go back and do soften edge, and that is basically what I want for the output. But there's some other tools in here that you should know about. I can select different sections and reverse the normals. So if I select that, you'll see that it turned black. If it didn't turn black for you, that might be that you have two-sided two-sided lighting on. We want to make sure this is off, because it's very useful in figuring out if you have any issues with your model, if the normals are going the wrong direction, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to turn that off by default so I can see what's happening with my model. And then if I go up to mesh display, and I can, so I select them and hit the reverse. You can even do conform. Oop, I gotta select it and then go to conform, and that will try to reverse those by default, but you'll notice that the edges are a little bit off still, so you would do a soften to fix that. So now that's nice and soft. You can if you're having issues with things not looking as soft, or you're getting weird distortion on the normals, what I would do is make sure that you would unlock the normals and then go to set to face, and then go and say soften edge. That usually fixes any issues I have. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video.